Are you inspired by the amazing skills of others? You look at your favorite YouTubers and you think, boy, they just create the most amazing videos. They're very lively. They have a lot of energy. They're very charismatic. Maybe you look at your favorite musician and you think, wow, the music, the songs that they create are just incredible. The way they play their instrument, or maybe a writer, you admire a writer and you think, boy, I would love to write like that. Or a painter, an artist of some sort, and you think, okay, I'm going to start this journey. I want to be just like them. And you start out, and as you begin, you start creating work, and very early into this process, you realize that, boy, my work is just pretty crummy. It's just awful, actually. And you get so disappointed. What in the world is going on here? Well, this is called what I call the gap of disappointment. And I'm going to explain to you what's going on here and how you can overcome it. So you can bridge the gap from realizing that your work is pretty horrible to the point where you are achieving mastery like the people that inspire you have done. Okay, so let's get into this. And this is an idea inspired by an American broadcaster by the name of Ira Glass. And he made a statement one time in an interview that really outlines what's going on here and helping you to shift your mindset to understand how to overcome this gap of disappointment. Okay? So notice what he said here. He said, "We all start with good taste. We know what we believe to be superior examples of great work in our area of expertise and interests. We see it, we love it, we're inspired by it, so we set out with the ambition to create things that match the level of quality that we see others creating." So we see the mastery, that's what we want to achieve. We set out to do that. But he goes on to say, we soon realize that there's a gap. The stuff we're doing and creating initially seems to be so far from the quality we see in the work of the people we admire. The gap of disappointment. This is where we start out. This is what we see. In other words, there's a quality gap between our taste, what we know is possible, and our personal mastery, what we're currently able to produce. This gap is why our own work often disappoints us. Isn't that so true? He says, a lot of people never get past this phase. They quit. They tend to believe that the path to success should be quick and a painless journey, and when it's not, it's because they're doing it wrong and they're not capable of doing it, or it's not fun like they imagined it would be. So this creates a lot of quitters right here, this gap of disappointment. But here's where Ira gets into how to overcome it. He says, most people I know who do interesting creative work went through years of this. We know our work doesn't have this special thing that we want it to have. He says, we all go through this. And I'm sure he means that most of us go through this. There's a small percentage who are just masters, virtuosos, but most of us go through this. And if you are just starting out or you are still in this phase, you've got to know it's normal. And the most important thing you can do, here's the solution, is do a lot of work. So Ira shared some great wisdom here. I'm going to break it down using the card here. So we start here. We want to get to this point. This gap is horrible, and it feels discouraging, and it feels hard to get past. But what we can do is we can narrow this gap so that our crummy work now starts getting better and moving toward mastery. What did Ira say we had to do? Everybody, almost everybody, has to go through this process. The key is to do a lot of work. Take massive action on whatever you're trying to achieve. So if you want to get really good at creating awesome YouTube videos, it's not going to just happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a week. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks, or maybe even a month, or even 2 months. You've got to create massive work and a massive amount of action. So you've got to create a lot of videos. Even though the initial ones are going to disappoint you and they're going to be crummy and they're not going to look anything or sound anything like the people that you admire. We all go through this. If you want to be a better writer, what do you have to do? You have to write a lot. Write something every day. A minute, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes. Just do something consistently to get better and better. That creation of a lot of work, taking massive action, is what's going to enable you to narrow that gap. If you want to be a better artist, musician, what do you have to do? You have to play your instrument a lot. You have to sing a lot. You have to write crummy songs. You have to sing horribly initially. And you may have to do this for a while. Don't expect results in a week or 2 weeks. It's just not going to happen, more than likely. As Ira said, he knows some very interesting and very successful people in the various fields. They all went through this process of dealing with the gap of disappointment. So get in your mind that no matter what you're doing to get better at it, you have to take massive action. Create. Just do it all as much as you possibly can. And what's going to happen is at some point, you're going to have a shift. And that shift is going to go from looking at your work and thinking, boy, it used to be pretty crummy. And you might even look back at what you created and thought, man, I'm embarrassed by that because it's so terrible. But at some point, you're going to have a shift where you're going to start feeling very good about the work that you're creating. And you're going to see that it's very similar to the people that you admire. You may even overtake their quality and their level of expertise. But you have to create a lot of work. But when that happens, you're going to realize that you can do some pretty amazing things when you just stick to it and commit to it. So I hope you found this video useful and helpful. And if you did, please like, comment, and share. I'd appreciate that very much. And I hope you have an amazing day.